You know, because Dante is still Dante. Lady is still Lady. These are the characters from the games.
What I'm trying to do here, kind of like what Christopher Nolan did for Batman. I don't really look at it as permission. I just start making things.
Working with Kevin has been the only time I've ever been nervous. I made movies with Brad Pitt and Ryan Reynolds, and they're lucky to be with me. Here, I was like, oh my God, he can see right through me. I'm a fraud.
My next mission, in private.
It's time for a goofy filler episode that seems like it'll be a skippable stinker at first, but actually is pretty funny. This episode introduces this desperate loser failing to make advances on his waitress crush. She tells him she's only interested in making advances herself and points to Dante as an example of the type of guy she's looking for.
Dante?
Him.
Poor Dante just came for dessert. Now he's being used as an object in the shenanigans of these idiots. So Loverboy, whatever this guy's name is, spends the episode following Dante around to see how he can be more appealing to the scantily uniformed minimum wage worker. But in doing so, he stumbles upon suspicious behavior from Dante that gets him frightened by our protagonist. The first instance comes when he follows Dante to a nightclub only to see him pull a Mr. Steal Your Girl and give her 4 shots in a ladies' room. Gun shots, I mean. Devil may come. Cut that out of the video. Every time whatever this guy's name is sees something unusual from Dante, he tries to warn Cindy only to be seen as even more obsessive than before. The man obsessed with exposing red flags is only making himself look like a major red flag. In his second attempt, whatever this guy's name is stakes out the Devil May Cry and gets chased away by the only security measure more effective than a camera with a mounted turret. A child. It's said that a child is the fastest way to send around 33% of men running. The concern really kicks in when he sees Dante single-handedly take out the mob in a shootout. So the obvious course of action after that is to snoop around Dante's shop while he's out. Gee, this guy's an unstoppable killing machine. Let me continue to investigate him on my own with no protection. That's a great idea. Cindy'll totally fall for me after this. Whatever this guy's name is forgets how to open the front door, so he runs upstairs and finds Sid. It's been a while since we last saw this weasel. Sid gives whatever this guy's name is a box that he claims will reveal the truth about Dante. Then Lady barges in looking for Dante. Geez, that's 3 people in one night. I know Dante doesn't care about intruders since he's a one-man army and doesn't have any riches to steal, but still, get yourself a guard dog with a freaking mace sprinkler on its back or something. I don't know. So yeah, whatever this guy's name is gets scared shitless to the point where he actually jumps off a 2nd-story window to flee the scary lady. Whatever this guy's name is opens the box and finds a bell that can call demons. Whatever this guy's name is panics so much he forgets he's running on a newly broken foot. The final straw comes from when whatever this guy's name is sees Dante kill a demon. Now he's ready to skip town, but before he can, Dante figures out he's been watching him. So Dante gives whatever this guy's name is a little show with a devil bell before putting him at ease.
If you're gonna skip town, you should at least let her know about it. If you don't, she can't chase you, even if she wants to.
Now, whatever this guy's name is no longer afraid of Dante and gets the girl to chase him by copying Dante's diet. At least change the sundae flavor, dude.
You're kinda making me lose my appetite, dude.
Also, I don't know if I'm stupid, but this guy, despite being the center of the whole episode, never had his name said. I guess his name is Isaac, since there's an Isaac in this episode's character credits, but yeah, that was never mentioned in the episode itself. Yeah, that's why I only referred to him as whatever this guy's name is. That's really odd, but whatever, we're moving on.
Next mission, Rock Queen.
Real quick, if you're enjoying the video, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell icon for notifications of every new upload. To support the channel further, share this video with others, and consider clicking the join button to see how you can become a channel member in exchange for exclusive perks. Got all that? Good. Thank you all, and now let's get back to the video. Episode 6 is called Dancing Queen. Rock Queen. The episode opens with a demon looking through some albums because didn't you read the title? This episode's about music. The demon lady watches them all burn, which is pretty damn evil. If you ask me, that's no different from burning books. I also feel that way about making purchased games unusable. But that aside, check it out, Dante's got his jukebox fixed.
Let's rock.
Never mind. Patty comes home to see the aftermath of the jukebox abuse. She sees Dante has a framed record, this being one of his favorites that got scratched and has a front too faded to see the name of the artist. Seems there's a theme going on, who would have guessed, because Dante's next job is to guard some treasure hunters who discovered an abandoned building with mint condition records. Of course, one of the treasure hunters happens to have a genuine record from one Elena Houston, the same record Dante has framed. The music is so exciting, it only gets 2 other guys to dance, very poorly, and it gets the owner to... I wanna say he's dancing, but I don't know. It looks more like this got him excited in another way.
Looks like you're punching your munchkin. Shut up! As in jerking off! Yeah, I know what you mean, okay?
But the music also catches the attention of the demon lady and her pet salamanders. Dude better put his cock away before one of them bites it off. Turns out the roaring demon lady is Elena Houston, though now she's using her singing voice for violence. And people say heavy metal is harmful. The guy with Elena's record was a childhood friend of hers. When they grew up, he wanted her to explore her passion for music so much, he dedicated his time and money to helping her become a star. After a long road filled with dead-end gigs, Elena suddenly got her shot at fame, only to see her fans become more crazed than Taylor Swift fans, literally killing each other to see her perform. Elena then pushed everyone who got her to where she was away and embraced the madness. Now I'm not too sure what this is exactly. Was she a devil living among humans who lost her developed humanity? Did she make a deal with a devil? Did a devil do this in secret to toy with her and take her over? Did she become a devil because she was that greedy for fame? It's never explained what she is or what all this means. But who cares, because now it's time for her and Dante to face off. But the ending raises even more questions. Like, why and how did stabbing Demon Elena in the throat separate her human and demon forms? If we saw human Elena die, then what exactly is this final scene? Did Elena survive? Did Tim end his own life to reunite with her? Is this a metaphorical way of saying he's finally at peace after receiving closure? But most importantly, are we witnessing Patty doing child labor? Anyways, this episode was pretty mediocre in the grand scheme of things, with Elena's song being the only thing you'll remember this one for. I'll stick to unironically listening to the DMC game soundtracks, thank you very much.
Next mission. Wishes come true.
Oh look, Dante's teaching gambling to a child. Back in my day, that was Pokemon's job before the rating system said no more.
Is this Devil May Cry?
Gee, did the giant sign outside saying Devil May Cry not make that clear enough for you? This woman hires Dante to investigate a murder that she believes her brother Carrie was falsely charged for. Dante starts simple by visiting the crime scene where we, the audience, can clearly see what killed Carrie's friend was something demonic. That, and the pub owner says the scene looked like something you'd see from a demon. That's enough to get Dante really invested. So his next move is to get himself thrown into the same prison as Carrie, which, might I add, is Devil's Prison. named thusly because it's seriously run by devils. A prison where no one before had come out of there alive. So this frickin' legend here deliberately gets locked up there just to get answers and then breaks out like he was spending the night at a 4-star hotel. This badass got to get what he needed for the job and have fun breaking a record. Now that's Dante. Oh yeah, the mystery. So while fishing one day, Carrie reeled in an artifact with a wish-granting demon. As with any wish granter, there was a catch here. This jackass was very selective with what wish he'd grant. No riches.
I want to be the richest man in the world.
No way.
No power.
I want to be the most powerful man in the world.
No.
No bitches.
I want beautiful women.
No.
But when Carrie passingly said,
Drop dead, you bastard.
that was the wish the demon granted. Honestly, a pretty cool and twisted way of handling evil wish granting.
What pretty jewels.
I shall grant you a wish.
Oh great, now Lady's going to end up in Devil's Prison. Now Dante will have to get in and break out a second time.
You can go to hell for all I care.
I shall grant your wish.
Too bad for the wish granter, Dante going to hell was this, but that didn't last long as Dante escaped from hell and came back swinging with what the fans really wanted. What do you mean that has nothing to do with the show? What, you want me to say the demon tried to grant the wish, but Dante overpowered him and killed him instead? Yeah, but that's obvious at this point. We're 7 episodes in. You should know by now that that's the same formulaic way every episode ends. Just let me talk about the meat of the episodes and end these with my own stupid jokes. Man, I wish you'd stop pestering me all the time.
I shall grant your wish.
Oh no, wait! But to set up for future episodes, Sid takes the face of the demon for later use. Dante, you have aimbot. You're just letting him do this. Oh yeah, and Carrie's sister was a ghost girl. Or something, I don't know.
Next mission. Once upon a time.
Time to break out the DMC timeline wikis because this is a lore episode delving into Dante pre-demon hunting. I'm not an expert on the timeline, but I've got a good enough idea to grasp what this episode's all about. This episode opens with what seems to be some stranger named Ernest mistaking Dante for someone named Anthony, or more specifically, Tony Redgrave. Even if you're not familiar with the DMC lore outside of the games, Tony Redgrave might ring a bell if you ever looked at the details on Dante's dual pistols, Ebony and Ivory. Ernest tells Dante he can clear Dante's, or Anthony's, and his mother's name of a tragedy on Morris Island, which he believes could have truly been the work of a demon. Morrison brought this to Dante's attention since he was asked for Tony the Devil Hunter, of which the only devil hunter Morrison claims to know is Dante. Well, he may also know ladies, so the only male devil hunter maybe. Dante decides to go to Morris Island, where he meets back up with Ernest, welcoming Dante as if he's welcoming him back to his old home. Dante seems more concerned of Ernest and where he heard of Dante, or Tony, so Dante has Ernest take him to his informant.
Of course, it's you.
It's Sid, aka Mr. You probably forgot who I was for a few episodes until the writers remembered the series needed an overarching plot of some sorts. But along with that, Mr. You probably forgot who Okay, I'm not reading all that out again for the bit. Sid was the one who gave Ernest the evidence he needed to absolve Tony and his mother. 20 years ago, Morris Island was set ablaze, with Tony Redgrave and his mother being handed the blame. After Sid told Ernest about a demon who could be summoned in the ruins, Ernest became dead set on summoning the demon once more to prove the tragedy was caused by a demon all those years ago. Yeah, just casually summon a demon again who you believe to have been responsible for many past deaths and destruction. That's a wonderful idea. History totally won't repeat itself if you do that. Before that happens, Ernest invites Dante to his place to chat with him and his wife. His wife tells Dante that Ernest has always been eccentric, likely from his horrifying past, but he became more at ease once he found a possibility to rebuild the life he lost. The chance to reunite with Tony Redgrave and return to the days before his dear childhood friend was labeled as an arsonist. Desperate to revive the old days, Ernest goes through with his foolish plan with absolutely no real thought put into it. Luckily, Dante arrives to keep things under control, though the demon does let it slip that dear Tony Redgrave here was, and always has been, Dante, son of Sparta.
This is Sparta!
No, not Sparta. Sparta. Also, I got all that because I previously saw this episode and had prior knowledge on the DMC timeline. If you were to go into this blind, you probably wouldn't catch all that because this demon's voice filter makes it almost impossible to understand what it's saying. Hearing all of that, Ernest realizes that yes, it was a demon who attacked the island, not Tony. But he also realizes that the demon did so because it was after Tony, or Dante.
That demon destroyed this town looking for you, you son of a bitch! I'll never forgive you! Neither will those who die! Do you hear me? Don't you ever come back here again!
And that's the note this episode ends on. Ernest, a man who would cling to the past and his happy memories, now ridiculing his old friend and seeing him as the same monster everyone else saw him as back then. And once again, Dante ends up alone. The twist here is that Dante all along was Tony Redgrave, or more specifically, Tony Redgrave was a name he had to take up to live a normal life free from any demons. In the lore, Dante came to Morris Island as a child sometime after demons attacked his home and killed his mother. Then eventually came that fateful day where a demon came looking for him and the town turned on him, forcing another relocation. This time, Dante was able to prevent a repeat catastrophe, but ended up losing an old home and old friends all over again.
Don't miss the next mission. Death Poker.
I'm recording this the morning after I finished watching the Netflix Devil May Cry animated series, and my thoughts, I was baffled by a lot of the decisions in that. I was also, when they were just showing off promo material, and they were doing some strange stuff. Johnny Young Bosch, the voice of Nero, is voicing Dante. That's totally not going to be confusing. Oh, what's this? Now we've got Adi, the showrunner, going on to talk about the show like it's going to be the Batman Begins of Devil May Cry, elevating the series. Yeah, sure, that totally doesn't make you sound very pretentious and cringe. And then the sneak peeks that we'd be getting, stuff like Dante struggling to come up with a pun and coming up with a weird Skeletor pun, and Virgil showing up. But oh wait, nope, it's not Virgil, so that scene from the trailer was just clickbait. But as for the series itself, it's got some really cool action. Sometimes it's got some action, but for the most part, it is really freaking cool and does a lot of neat stuff. Definitely better action-wise than the previous Devil May Cry animated series. Characterization-wise, I prefer the old series, though. The characters here felt very off. In some cases, they kind of felt more like DMC Devil May Cry than they did actual main series Devil May Cry. And that's not a good thing. That's not what you want to be. And I felt like maybe I could write off a lot of these baffling decisions and strange story moments as, oh, it's just stuff from the novels and manga. I'm not familiar with any of that. I would like to learn more about that so I can make proper comparisons. But I don't know, so I'm going into this blind. Maybe I'll learn some new stuff. But what it ended up being was, strangely enough, a pretty loose or liberal adaptation of Devil May Cry 3, but in the strangest way possible. Like, instead of Arkham, you've got the White Rabbit basically trying to do the same shit, just for a different purpose. Of course, you got Dante and Lady interacting, Lady doing stuff in the story, having some kind of role, but it's also very different. Instead of it being driven by her wanting to stop her father, it's her just being in this strange government task force, being dressed up like Captain Commandos. Okay. Another thing that was captivating about Devil May Cry 3's story was Virgil's role, and how it was also this big family dynamic, Dante versus Virgil. We don't get that here. Virgil is in the show, despite, you know, what I just said about the clickbait in the first episode. But instead of Virgil having that role where he's trying to open up the portal to the demon world, he's working with Arkham so he can get that power that he's been seeking. He's just already Nello Angelo in the demon world, and he just decides to give the White Rabbit his blood and his amulet, which he would never give up. As he said in Devil May Cry 3, it belongs to a son of Sparta. And here he is, just handing it over. Sure, go ahead. What is this Virgil? Just from that first impression, I am not impressed. I'm not looking forward to seeing how they botch him further. And I feel like that's also my consensus for the series as a whole. I'm not looking forward to a season 2 seeing what they did here. Maybe they can improve, but there were just so many strange decisions. Why did they go with this route? It's just so strange. Partially Devil May Cry 3, some kind of elements and feelings of DMC Devil May Cry. Maybe some stuff from the novels and mangas. I'm not 100% sure, because again, I don't know anything about those story-wise, and mostly just a bunch of original stuff that kind of makes me think this started out as an original series that they realized, oh shit, this is actually just a DMC3 ripoff. Let's try and pitch this as an actual Devil May Cry animated series. Yeah, after watching, I didn't want to watch anymore. I didn't want to have anything to do with this series. I didn't have any anticipation for what they could do in the future. I instead just thought to myself, I would much rather just be playing Devil May Cry 3 right now. I just prefer the old series because that at least feels more like Devil May Cry, more like it is in that universe as the games, even if it is very different. It's more DMC 1 Dante than anything, but still so cool to see those character interactions. It's very fun. And just gives us another way of seeing Dante. This, it's trying to reinvent it and adapt in such a strange way. If you ask me, it is nowhere near elevating Devil May Cry. It is more so trying to recreate and, in a way, bastardize it. I think it's nowhere near as good as the previous Devil May Cry series in terms of comparing them based on Devil May Cry media. As always, thank you for watching. Don't forget to do the typical YouTube stuff if you enjoyed this video. Like the video, subscribe, ring the bell for notifications, and if you want to support the channel and get some neat perks, consider clicking the join button and seeing how you can become a channel member today.